Hello everybody and welcome to this video. In this video I'm going to show you the new feature of the MetaHuman where you can apply your custom photo scan mesh, maybe of yourself or your friend, and apply it to the vanilla character in MetaHumans. So this is the mesh that I'm using and this is my final result. They look pretty much the same, and I'm gonna walk you through the whole process of how you can generate such kind of likeliness from your scanned data. So let's just go straight to it. First, what you need to do is you need to go to the Unreal Engine Marketplace and you need to download MetaHuman plugin. I've already did that. And after that, you need to open, of course, your project or create a new one and go to Edit Plugins. And here in the plugins section, you need to type MetaHuman. And you can see this plugin over here. It is still in experimental stage, so you don't want to ship any game with it, but you can enable it over here by checking this checkbox. After that, Unreal will say, I need to reset. You reset your Unreal and you're ready to go. All right, those are the first steps. So keep in mind that we are aiming for this one. The next step is I've already have this scan data. You can find this free scan data in the description of this video, so you can download it and follow along with the tutorial. So I'm going to be using this one and I've already exported it into OBJ. All right. And the next step is to import this mesh into my project. So I'm just drag and dropping my OBJ over here, and you need to go to advanced. This is the FBX importer. You need to go to advanced and click on combine mesh. This should be turned on. Click on import and we should wait a few seconds in order our mesh to be imported correctly. All right, now I'm going to close this. And now we need to start the process of retargeting this mesh to our MetaHuman. And I'm just going to right click over here and you can find this menu MetaHuman. I'm going to go here, MetaHuman identity, and I'm gonna name it Face ID. All right, and I'm gonna double click, and this is a new window that Unreal created it, and this is for retargeting mesh to the MetaHuman characters. And let me just quickly explain everything. You have a save button, you have a browse. Here from this menu you're choosing the mesh. The mesh that we want is face, so I'm just gonna choose it like that. Keep in mind that you can use static meshes, you can use meshes that have already bind skins and bones. There is no problem, but in order to have good results, the mesh should be one whole, not on separate parts. For example, the eyes should be combined with the head, the ears, etc. If you have separated those two, for example, eyes and the head itself. All right, so this is our hierarchy panel where we can access different stuff for the mesh, template mesh, neutral pose, or the body. And here are our details about each one of them. So how we can start this process? The first thing that you need to do is you need to face the camera perfectly to the face, and you need to cover as much as you can, just like that. All right, and you need to place it in the center. What you need to do after this is you need to go here on the plus, click plus. We have frame 0 right now. I'm gonna name it front, and right now I'm creating the process. I'm creating the data. I'm just getting a snapshot of our head, and I'm gonna right click here in the blue, and I'm gonna click auto tracking on. And now Unreal tracked the face, but as you can see, we have some errors here. This is not the lips, and it almost got the eyes, and this is the identity that Unreal Engine and MetaHuman needs in order to create this type of face. So right now I can correct this, but the first thing that I need to do is I'm gonna need to right click here and lock the camera. All right, and I'm gonna start and dragging those points in order to create the shape of the mouth. I'm just helping out the algorithm in order to create the best looking face that I want. All right, so I've just fixed everything that I need over here. And now I'm going to need to click on this button, MetaHuman Identity Solve. I'm gonna click it, and now it's starting the process of solving how it will attach this photo scan mesh to the original scanned mesh. And right now, as you can see, nothing pretty much happens, but it happened. So what you need to do is you need to click here on this camera. I can go into free observing mode, and here from the A menu, I can select template mesh. And right now we have mesh A and mesh B. Mesh B is the generated mesh, and it is attached to the original metahuman character. So imagine that this is the original metahuman character, and we just placed and attached the face on it so that we have this kind of face. And as you can see, they pretty much overlap, and we have pretty good results. And what you need to do right now is you need just to press this button, mesh to metahuman. I'm gonna click it, and it says no body type presents in selected in body type parts. So a thing that we missed is you need to click here in the body type, and you need to select the body type. So I'm gonna select this male, and I'm gonna select the height for it. Maybe, yeah, maybe the maximum. And now if I click mesh to metahuman, it starts sending all this data to the metahuman portal in Unreal Engine. All right, so we have our model over here imported into our metahuman portal, but as you can see, it doesn't have textures, it doesn't have anything on it, and you need to click here, edit selected, in order for us to start creating our human. And let me show you a few things. The first thing that is different, you have custom mesh over here, and you can start tweaking your mesh with the original one. So this is overall influence, which means that the face that we put over here through our Unreal Engine 5, how much it will blend with the vanilla original metahuman. If I slide it all the way back, it returns the values, and we have our original metahuman. And if I tweak it all the way up, we have the overall values mixed with our scan data. And of course, you can select each one of those. You can select the skull, the forehead, the eyes. And let me show you what you can do with that. We can select the jaw, and we can only delete the influence from the jaw. If I tune down the region influence, and let me just pause this in order to show you how it works. You can see here at the neck part that we are tweaking up and shaping our jaw. Of course, you can tweak the nose. I can select the nose and tweak it. How much do I want to look like the scan data, or do I want to look like the original one? Of course, on some parts you can use symmetry. For example, I can, right now the eyebrows has symmetry, and if I tweak this, it will tweak them symmetrically. But if I turn this off, I can just select this one by one and just tweak it over here if I want this asymmetry happening over here. All right, this is pretty cool. So you can tweak up a few things over here in order to have your model more believable and more likeliness with your original one. But I think my is having pretty decent accuracy to this one. So I'm just going to keep it this way. Of course, you can click here, enable editing, and you can duplicate and unlock, or you can unlock. What this means is unlocking the character will allow access to the scope, move, and blend tools, but the undo stack will be lost. In order to preserve your data, we recommend making a copy of the character before unlocking. What this means is you're going to lose this data over here, and you're not going to be able to tweak this anymore. So I'm just going to click unlock, but I'll unlock the other features which are more precise. So here at the scope tool, you can see dots all over your face, and with those dots you can tweak everything you want. So if I pull this over here, I'm pulling the jaw just like that, and you can scope this pretty easily and tweak up your metahuman. This is pretty awesome, guys. This is the next generation stuff for creating characters. All right, but let's continue on. I'm pretty happy with the result overall. The next is the skin. Here in the skin, you need to click assign, and you can start assigning skin to our character. Our character is pretty dark. He has pretty black color. So I'm going to have something like this, maybe. All right. And the next thing that you can do in the skin section is the texture. These textures will bring few ages to your character. If I tweak all the way down, you can see that your character is getting old. Let me just try. Maybe this one is good. I think this one is pretty good because our character is old enough. And you already see that we have this likeliness from this model to this model. Of course, it's not 100%, but you can tweak it up almost to be the same. All right. The next thing that you can do, you can tweak up the contrast over here. Of course, let me just tweak a little bit the color, a little bit more. Just like that, maybe. All right. You can tweak the roughness of the skin. It can be pretty reflective, or it can be a little bit more rough. Of course, old guys have freckles, and let's put some on. I've put the strength over here. You can choose different type of freckles over here. Let me just choose those one, and I'm gonna just play around with it a little bit, something like this. All right. You can have also accents, which means redness or saturation on different areas of the face. For example, you can saturate over here the lips. You can put lightness on them. You can make them a little bit dark. Let me just give them a little bit redness, maybe a little bit of saturation. All right, pretty good. Moving on are the eyes, and you can do pretty much a lot of stuff with eyes. We have brown eyes over here, so I'm just going to choose those one. And here in the iris, you can play with the iris over here, changing different irises. Of course, this is the base color, this is the detailed color. You can tweak up a little bit the color over here, just like that. You can blend them. Let me just blend them over here, just like that. You can do a color balance in the smoothness. You can define the iris size. You can define the iris saturation, the darkness. You can play with those, and of course you can make each change to a separate eye. The next thing is our scalera, which we can brighten up a little bit, so we can have this contrast between his skin and his eyes. And let me just tweak a little bit the vein rotation. All right, this is pretty much looking very good right now. We are going to the teeth, and I'm just gonna make them white because black people has awesome teeth. And let's turn the plague amount a little bit like that. You can open his jaw, of course, a little plague, and you can create variation in his tooth, maybe something like this. Of course, you can tweak up the length. You have a lot of options over here. Also, you can play with this one to move the jaw or to move the teeth. If you want them to be separate like this, if you want them to be small, let me just create something interesting here. Pretty good. All right, I like it. Let's close his jaw. Right, let's go to the makeup. As he's not a female, I'm not going to do eyelashes, blush, or lips. I'm just gonna do a foundation over here because I want a little bit to clean up the skin. As you can see, we have a little difference over here. I'm just gonna apply a little foundation, and I'm gonna tweak the intensity and put a little bit roughness over here. Yeah, pretty much I like it like that. The next step is the head, and this is the hair that we can choose. I'm just gonna go with an afro, but this one, pretty good for our character. You can choose, of course, wonk afro. Maybe you like this one, all right? But I'm just gonna stick with the short one. And of course, you can go into the details and tweak up the roughness of the hair. You can put a little white follicles over there, and you can make it ombre. You can change the color over here, maybe make it red or whatever you like. Okay, so you can play with the settings over here. The next thing, eyebrows. Let's go. Let's select the eyebrows. Let me just check my reference. He has pretty dense eyebrows, so I'm just going to choose something like this. Let me just select this one. Yeah, those ones are pretty much good. And I'm gonna tweak up the roughness over here. And that looks pretty good. Moving forward, eyelashes. Those are the standard ones. Let me just check it from the side. Pretty good. I'm gonna choose those one, the short fine. Okay, of course you can custom the color and etc. And my favorite, you can place him a mustache. Let's place him. Let me check. He has pretty short beard, but I'm gonna make something like maybe like this, and I'm gonna go into beard, and I'm gonna select this one. He looks pretty good right now, and it looks pretty accurate to this one, except that the beard is a little longer over here, but those are things that you can tweak from here. Maybe something like this, or maybe something like this. Let me just try this one. I'm just gonna go with this one, as it is the closest one to the reference that I have. And of course, I'm gonna need to tweak a little bit the beard because he has some white hairs over here. So I'm just gonna go into the color, enable the hair dye. I'm gonna go with the white over here. Let me just go into the white like that. And I'm just gonna tweak the value all the way down to over here, 0.004, in order to have this little bit of white spots, just like him. And maybe a little bit more, just like that, 0.008. And I'm gonna do this to the mustache too, white, put this white, 008, I think it was. Here will be a little bit more visible, so I'm gonna put 002. And I have pretty good looking man over here. We covered everything, and the next thing is the proportion of the body. You can choose different body over here. You can choose his head scale. Of course, I'm gonna keep it to 0 because I want to be proportional to my body. And you can select some tops over here. You can tweak up a few things over here. For the clothes, you can just play around with them. Let me just quickly choose a few stuff. All right, and let's go to our idle pose and our character. All right, so this is pretty much how you can create your character and the likeliness of your character to be almost exactly as your reference. You can achieve pretty good results, and if you want to push this further, of course you can export this into a third-party application like Substance Painter, Maya, Blender, etc., and tweak all the textures to be the same as your reference if you want to go with this 100% likeliness. All right, so after you create this, this metahuman will be saved automatically, and what you need to do is you need to go here and open your Quixel bridge. And in your Quixel bridge, you need to go to the metahumans, go to My Metahumans, and we have our metahuman over here add it in the library. So this is the one that we've created, and you can select it, select the quality of the MetaHuman, download it, and add it to your project. And from now on, you can play with it, you can add it to your game like character, etc. So this is pretty much how you can create characters based on your photo scans. And I think this technology is pretty awesome, and you can make a lot of characters for your game using real life data, real life scans, and using this MetaHuman creator in Unreal Engine 5. If you want to know more about metahumans, leave me a comment in the description what you want to know about metahumans, maybe how to import them in the game, how to use them in a game. So anything that you want to learn about metahumans, write it in the comments. I'm gonna read the sections. Also, if you like the video, thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I see you in the next video. Bye.